Another game that I played was Bokuten, Why I Became an Angel. And the story is set in a town that has the legends of having angels appearing sometime in the past. And there's also a church up on the hills of the town that were at one time associated with angels too. And angels in this church have a great deal to do with the premise of the story. What happens is a boy, Tomoe, and a number of girls from the school are involved in the story. Tomoe is somewhat of a unknown character who at one point in the past either tried or was alluded to have tried to commit suicide by jumping off the side of a building, the school roof. And somehow or another he came out of it, even though he had trials in the hospital where it was despondent and it was touch and go whether he wanted to survive or not. Tomoe and his childhood friend, a girl, Narika, live next door to each other. Tomoe is an orphan. His parents died in the past and he inherited the house. Narika lives next door and brings them breakfast and climbs through the window from house to house to get from one house to another and wake up Tomoe. Well, Tomoe is somewhat adept in the skill of archery, and while playing around in the archery yard, he playfully pretends to shoot a arrow up in the air. Well, this arrow hits something which turns out to be an angel, Anye. The angel falls to earth. Tomoe takes in the angel, Anye, and tries to get her back to where she came from. There becomes the start of the story. It turns out that the angels in this story have the ability to repair fractured hearts, which are fractured to the individual giving up all hope of attaining love in any way, shape, manner, or form. And when the heart fractures, a shard of their heart falls out and is able to be seen by an angel. If the angel does a ritual, the shard can be returned to the heart and the path of love can then commence. Well, since this angel, Anye, is somewhat broken, the angel needs the help of the boy, Tomoe, to reunite the shard with the intended person by forming an arrow and shooting it inside the heart of the intended person. And there are 5 initial stories that unfold whereupon the individual under the broken or fractured heart once either doesn't or becomes reunited with their shard by Tomoe shooting the shard back into the person. And that's the most interesting part of the game. One of the stories involves a bookwormish girl who's antisocial and doesn't want to talk or get together with any of her other schoolmates. She's sort of a loner. She becomes enamored with a middle-aged artist man who has a studio in the town, and this girl starts to visit the artist. One thing or another happens, one after another. The first thing that happens is the girl decides to pose au naturel for the artist in a painting, and through the action of getting her fractured heart reunited with her shard, she falls in love with the artist, and it's sort of a sad story. After they consummate their love, the artist decides to leave the studio to the girl, and he takes off, never to be seen again. Another of the stories involves a pop star who is currently serving sort of as a teenage pinup girl in magazines and billboards. She too has her own troubles. Her mother is pushing her to take up the career that she had as a pop idol music artist, and wants her to start the singing too. Well, she gets her heart reunited at the final moment that she's on stage and asked to perform her debut singing career. So she gets reunited in love too. Another story in the broken fractured heart series is there is a girl that is being blackmailed, and she's being blackmailed by sort of an underworld bad old man, and forced to do conjugal relations with the man in return for not telling the blackmail story. Well, through the help of the group, including Tomoe, they dispense the bad old man, and he is arrested by the police. A nerdy boy from a school professes his love to the girl, and what happens is they are reunited too, and become a couple. After all of this is the final chapter involving the angel Anye, and thereupon the story I can blatantly tell that it becomes a very silly affair, except to let you know that in the end you get to know where did these angels come from, what is the role of the church in all of this, and why and who is it that becomes an angel, because part of the title is why I became an angel. Well, somebody becomes an angel, and this angel solves the trouble, which I'm not going to mention, because if you want to get the game, you may wish to do that. All in all, I would say this game takes maybe 20-ish hours. It's a fair game. I give it a weak B as a total rating. The initial stories are somewhat good. The final story, as I said, is somewhat silly. But whether or not you wish to get it or not, I'll leave that up to you. Thank you very much for watching, and what I'll do is I'll try to find further games, and I'll play them, and I hope you'll be able to catch my next and future videos.